Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I am really excited to be back. I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. I had to have some surgery. I had a hernia operation and I'm healing okay. I'm still a little bit uncomfortable and it's scratching, but I'm healing. You know, it's funny, as a nutritionist, we always feel that, well, I always feel anyways, that I'm invincible. I'm never gonna get sick. I'm gonna heal 10 times faster than everyone. I'm never gonna get a cold. My allergies won't bother me. I can sleep like a baby and shit like a king. But the truth is, things don't always work out as planned. You know, I've spoken a dozen times before about how we plan one way and then life comes and gives us a smack around and it goes in a completely different direction. You know, we've all tried to lose weight and it didn't work, or tried an exercise routine, or a new job, or a hobby, or learning a language, or picking up an instrument, or we plan, we try, we fail, and then we kind of try again. And again, and again. And that's awesome. That's what makes us great as humans. The truth is, if we stop trying, then we stop living. Bob Marley, and I'm not going to do my horrible accents right now, but he said it very clearly. He said, God does not measure a man by how many times he falls down, but rather how many times he gets back up. And as simple as it sounds, it's quite profound, really, because what he was zeroing in on is picking up again, starting over again, having a new idea, finding the passion to do something again. The trick is to do it a little differently though, right? You don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, or it's just going to take you back to the spot where you find yourself today. But it's funny, you know, so we plan and things happen, and here I am, I'm thinking I'm invincible, and granted I haven't had a cold in a couple of years, my allergies are certainly nowhere near what they used to be, and I work out like a madman. Bam, I cut something up. I ended up with this hernia, and it forced me to set back my life a little bit. First of all, I had to cut down my calories because I wasn't exercising and I wasn't pushing out all those calories. I wasn't using more than I was eating, and I was afraid of putting on some weight, unhealthy weight, not muscular, beautiful, vascular, lean muscle, but I was worried about getting a little soft. You know, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 47, and if I continued eating as if I were working out, I promise you I'd be on the other side of this, trying to figure out tricks on how to lose weight. But after 2 or 3 days of adjusting, maybe closer to a week, I was able to shrink my stomach down a little bit, get rid of my cravings, and put myself back on track. That all being said, I go into surgery. They put me under, and they cut me up. And they said, yeah, you'll be home in a couple of hours. You can eat lunch at home. Little did I realize that recovery for all people takes time. They cut into my body, and it hurt like hell. And the pain meds, and I had to deal with constipation for that first day, which was really something I'm not used to, but I mean, I figured that one out pretty quickly. But what I found was, by having to slow down in life, it forced me to look around a little bit more clearly. And every morning I like to go outside and get a breath of fresh air. And I'm standing outside on my veranda, you know, kind of like lumped over like this. I shouldn't even be up, but I don't do lying down staring at the ceiling well. And I watched as people came out of their houses and into their cars. I'll do a little rendition of what I watched. Bag in hand, something else in the other, usually a phone, walking, dead-faced. Basically, this was the face I was looking at. They were walking out of their door, looking at their house, going into their car, sitting in car, starting car, drive to work, listen to Tim Hortons commercial every 14 seconds until I get to miserable job. That's what I'm seeing in everybody's face every single morning. This guy's coming out, this woman is coming out, kids are going to school, moms are yelling at their children, husbands are ignoring their children, children are ignoring their parents, but there's expressionless. People are dull. They're getting into their cars and they're pulling out of their driveway, looking through yet another screen, yet another monitor, whether it's a TV or an iPhone or a tablet or a laptop or a computer screen or a windscreen of your car. Here we are again, staring dead air, cross-eyed into a piece of glass. And then as I started to feel better, I made my way back onto main streets. But because I wasn't really working at full speed, I recognized what was going on here. Dare I say, the zombie apocalypse is upon us. Zombie after zombie. SUV, minivan, and 3 Series BMW, one after another. Everybody looks the same, acts the same, taking the same route, doing the same thing with a cup of coffee in their hand, sitting dead-faced, staring through a windshield, going to wherever it is they have to go on autopilot, mind you. Because listening to the radio, to the same people every day, the same commercials. The traffic and weather together today. And there was a bombing in Syria. And Israel and Palestine have not found peace. Donald Trump said something crazy. Justin Trudeau has nice hair. Marijuana's legal. Oh my God, not everybody's happy. What about... Same stories year after year, day after day. It is sucking the very life out of us. This is what we're entertaining ourselves with. Bad news, first thing in the morning, in traffic, looking through a windshield. My God, we are the zombies. We're watching shows about zombies, and there's movies about zombies. We are the zombies. What, because we don't make funny noises and try to eat people? Is that the only thing to me? That's not what a zombie is. This whole zombie phenomenon is really indicative of what we have become as humans. We're sitting lifelessly looking through our windshields and staring into our phones. What makes us feel good today instead of a hug and a kiss from our wives and husbands, which, God, from what I'm seeing, not a lot of hugging and kissing going on. But rather, don't forget to pick this up, and oh my God, you told me that, why'd you leave your socks up? Don't forget to... I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm not seeing a whole lot of huggy kissy. So where are people getting these nice feelings from? They're getting it from likes and artificial approvals and friend requests. Are you kidding me? Is this what our happiness has become? We are zombies. That's the blood of the people. Every like is another drop of blood, and we crave it. We need it to survive as zombies. We want people to recognize us, to see us. We want to stand out as individuals. We want to show the world how wonderful our life is, how great our kids are, how beautiful our dinners are, how cute our little puppy is. Instead of just kind of lifting up. I've spoken about this before. I was at Tim Hortons, which is a donut shop in the area, and there was a group of teenagers. I don't know, they were between 15, 16, 17, I don't know. The older I get, the harder it is to figure out how old they are. But they were all sitting, there must have been 7 or 8 of them. And they were sitting around an assortment of 2 or 3 tables, legs up, hunched back, bags on the floor, very cool and casual, as teenagers are supposed to do. And each one of these people sitting around these tables was more beautiful than the next. The guys were handsome, the girls were pretty, they were all young and fresh, and the hair and the makeup and the trendiest clothes, nicest iPhones, obviously living a pretty decent life. I'm talking the beauty that only youth can bring. Glowing, wrinkleless skin. They haven't been hurt yet by lovers or family members or death. They haven't been affected yet. They're pure, pink, beautiful creatures. And the whole time I stood in line, not one time did I see any of them look up. They failed to look at each other and communicate with each other. They may have very well been communicating with each other. But imagine sitting at a room at that age when your hormones are like burbling. The only thing on a young man's mind is young women at that age. Or at least, maybe not necessarily if you're gay, maybe it's a different interest, but the same idea. Your hormones at that age are brewing. There should be nothing else on your mind. And they're doing it on these stupid phones, staring into these stupid screens, coming out of the same school, learning the same thing, the same way, so that they can go to the same universities and be taught the same things and come out just the same. There was a song, I can't remember her name right now, Little Boxes it's called. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky. And it talks about everybody going into the school and coming out the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university where they were put in boxes and they all came out the same. There were doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all... And it goes on, and then all the children went to camp together, and the whole song develops into, and they all came out the same. Now, how could we expect the whole world? Why do we want the whole world to be the same? We've homogenized everything but race and hatred. We still hate each other. There's still different religions and there's some friction there possibly. Maybe that's not been fully developed into one, but we're all starting to look the same, we're all starting to learn the same. But the truth is we have different needs. Children and adults alike, we learn differently than our neighbors. You know, things have become so mashed together, even in our food industry. It's not what you think. Did you know in any package of conventionally packaged ground beef, for instance, you could have the meat of thousands of cows from dozens of farms in that one little pound of meat. It's all being mashed together, all of it. Whether it's from Alberta or Ontario, it's all being put together. Even our food is being mashed together. Our souls are being mashed together, and real life is being mashed up with this artificial world in which we really just look for approvals from people we've never met. Not finding happiness, not reaching for the stars, not following our passions, trying to get approvals, taps on the shoulders, people to say you're pretty, people to say, wow, that's all we're looking for? Is that all we need to make ourselves feel good anymore? So I say we owe it to ourselves. We have to break free from this apocalypse. No longer live like zombies. Maybe just look up for once and see what I'm talking about. Look at the deadpan faces looking through those windshields, and then look at the mirror and what are you saying to the world? What you're seeing in these people's faces, once you do realize they're saying something with those looks, and then you look in the mirror, you might notice some similarities. And if you are noticing these similarities, we owe it to ourselves to break free from that and make a change. Don't plan to do the same thing 100 times. Stop, change the radio station. Listen to a podcast. Throw on Howard Stern. Listen to a band. Turn it off entirely. Listen to your brain. Make a phone call. There's so many things we can do to break free of that mold, even just in that small window-paned part of your morning. Maybe it's time that we take control over our lives on more than just one level. Maybe taking control of our thoughts rather than being so easily coerced into thinking something's important. Maybe taking control over our food rather than buying something in a green box that has the word natural on it and just believing that it's healthy. Maybe we have to break free from the patterns with our children, knowing very well what it takes to be a good parent and still fighting about nonsense. What about taking a second out of our lives and telling our wives or our husbands that we love them? Just for a second, even if you only feel it for that moment. Maybe that's the stuff that's going to make us happier. Maybe that's what's going to change our lives in the long run rather than the short-term instant gratification result world that we're living in. Maybe spreading a little love and accepting a little bit of love into our lives will leave us looking less for friends and likes and hearts and check marks and nonsense from people we will never meet. Believe me, if something, God forbid, was to happen in your life, and I really hope it never should, all these people, they disappear. Their life will continue. Staring into their phones in the drive-thru, waiting for their coffee. Double, please. Robots, zombies, call it what you will. I refuse to become one. So this little setback that I've had physically because of this hernia has given me a chance to kind of be insightful and look inward a little bit and really take note of what's going on. Nothing's really changed in the time that I've started speaking about taking control of our life. People have become more zombie-like and robot-like than ever before. So I plead to all of you people watching right now, try to break free of it, find something you're excited about, make a tiny little change, and watch as it evolves and changes the total trajectory of your life. You can actually have a very beautiful, happy, surprising life by making one subtle change. Maybe pick up your coffee from a new place. Who knows what could happen? You never know who you're going to meet, what you're going to say, and what might happen just from making a tiny little change. Anybody who believes something tiny can't make a significant change in their life has never slept in a tent with a mosquito. On that note, I will bid you farewell. I hope that you will try to find something that you can make a change in your life. Be proud of who you are. Take in who you are. And don't let yourself become a zombie. See you next week.